See, just 2 pictures. Two. Huh. Just 2 pictures. It's Chelsea fans are sweating. Big game in the old Stamford Bridge. Chelsea versus Arsenal. But 2 pictures are surfacing on the internet, and every Chelsea fan is sweating. I'll tell you about that because seriously, even for me, when I saw the pictures, I was a little bit worried because a big game. Chelsea has struggled to beat almost every big team about the Man City one, the Liverpool one, the Manchester United one. Yes, take away the Newcastle game because traditionally Newcastle any a big team, and of course this season they haven't even been particularly at their best. But Chelsea struggled to beat all of these guys. In the bigger one, a London derby that's going to go on today, Stamford Bridge, Chelsea playing against Arsenal. Of course, Mikel Arteta in that game after International Milan did say, he said his team can go on and beat Chelsea if they play the same way that they played against Inter. Enzo Maresca and Enzo Zokache Mikel Arteta so to was here. Now when it comes to football, the boys can compete now. They are not scared of Obia or English Premier League. They are not worried about Obia, and they will come in and then come and compete. And then some of the Chelsea fans have already spoken with interviews that have been published this morning. You will go through all of them. You may sound commanding, but I will show you the picture. We'll talk about it subsequently. Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. So subscribe to the channel. I send it subscribe to the channel. Turn your notification. In the notification turn, make sure so be choose all. Send it anytime be a content. Ever drop to have way first to have it. It is subscribing. Post video needs here and subscribe. Turn on notification. Turn on notification. And of course, wait me so I share link for in every group here. Of course, so say or reach out to us or Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube here. Then the team is ready to reach out to you. Go through the comment section, go through the slaps now all down. Go say all the social media handles now. I will hop on Twitter. Send me a DM and I say pick up my email or Twitter. Send me a message on my mail, and all the other various social media handles. Now, obviously, and we had a boom of Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Boom, big one. Yeah, all the other 200. We are one of them, like I did mention to you, did go through this morning. The 3 slips out to across all the social media handles. See, don't even stress yourself to join the WhatsApp group or whatever. Just go to the social media handles, follow there, turn on notification, Facebook and on Twitter. Every morning, once there is a game, I put 3 different slips at the 2 of them. Choose the one that befits you. Then hopefully you are going to be into this morning. I saw there is something, but there's a lot more that we want to unpack here. Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Just before we go into the Chelsea conversation, finally, and even in the pre-match press conference for Carlo Ancelotti, Majatu said Madrid will need to do some squad reinforcement, maybe in January. And I say, at the latest, somewhere in the summer, because of one, the injury of a branch friend Eder Militao. And like I was saying yesterday, nobody wishes that bad of that level of being unfortunate on even their enemy. And after returning from an ACL injury, returning from the surgery, going through recovery, the mental part of the recovery, Eder Militao in that game against Osasuna has once again gotten an ACL injury. And this time, when Madrid comunicado oficial and Madrid for say a total rupture of the ACL, the anterior cruciate ligament. And let me try and do some little education. Say, if you probably have a little understanding of anatomy of muscles, tendons, and ligaments, you know that the tendons and ligaments take a very long time to heal. Very, very long time to heal. And they are supposed to be strong to hold up certain joints together, 2 or more joints together. Now, these ones in the knee, and it is at the anterior area of, behind. And it is not a good one. It's not a good one. Essentially, the reason why it keeps long is because the ligaments. The ligaments take a very, very long time. Some be healing. To have much of an Eder Militao, it's going to be out. And then now, the players were crying. Vinicius Junior were shedding tears. A branch of Eder Militao is going off injured. Of course, because of what he has been through, it is not a good one for Eder Militao. A lot of the conversations that going on. And I know And after the game, Carlo Ancelotti was asked about his plan for the team, his plan for Real Madrid, his plan for the injured players now. Because also Madrid team, the kind of injuries as you see a little bit worrying for FC Real Madrid. The kind of injuries as you see still, David Alaba has not returned. Thibaut Courtois in a relapse, he has gone back to being injured. And Yadia Obebo games any time recent. And Militao and now heartbreaking scene. Almost carrying off the field of play. A branch of Dani Carvajal injured. A couple of Madrid important players, especially for Dani Carvajal, who also had an ACL injury on the same turf at the Santiago Bernabeu. Out, and Madrid don't want something to be done. So, the statement of Madrid for the man. Madrid said, after tests carried out today on our player Eder Militao by Real Madrid Medical Services, he has been diagnosed with a complete rupture of the anterior cruciate ligament with involvement of both meniscus or menisci, because it's double in the right leg. Militao will be operated in the coming days and then hope that he goes on well. And Madrid center back problems now. Antonio Rudiger and Jesus Vallejo and available in the coming weeks unless they promote somebody from that academy. But already Jesus Vallejo from the academy named Eder Militao ACL, David Alaba ACL. Center backs for emergency. Now sometimes a Madrid player sleep cover as a center back and wait for the other ones to recover. Now, what should be say Orange Chimeni on also Dani Carvajal on also ACL. Academy center backs no so Juan Martinez when you're ACL, Jacob Ramon on also and Raul Asensio and Carlo Ancelotti. And yesterday, Madrid and Carlo Ancelotti contacted somebody center back in the summer. Madrid wanted to get Abantia, your friend Lenny Yoro. In fact, Madrid had already gone into the final stage of the agreement in conversation with Lenny Yoro. The plan was that Lenny was going to join in the summer of 2025. And because they didn't want to pay the fee that Lille were asking for Abantia friend Lenny Yoro, it was in the region of around 50 million euros for Abantia friend Lenny Yoro. Madrid were not ready to make that financial commitment. And then, of course, Manchester United to be able to pass behind it, get a job done, and get Lenny Yoro into their ranks. So Madrid obviously missed out on a world beater in Abrante and Lenny Yoro. Now they need to turn their attention to new centre backs. Another very good centre backs that have been on the ranks of almost every top team in Europe from last season up till now is a French centre back and a 23 centre back that's called Castello Lequiba. Excellent player. He is on the radar for FC Real Madrid. Plays for RB Leipzig. He's a French player. And Marca is reporting saying Madrid wants to get him. And said, if you are looking at somebody like Castello Lequiba, he's a centre back, can play both on the left and on the right, or a little bit short as compared to other centre backs. Very good on the ball. Need strength, power, the ball reading ability from a children. The fact that he's able to step into in a game, step into midfield sometimes and be aggressive, win the ball from there and turn it over. Now, Lequiba is one of those players at Madrid to make sure that they add them into their ranks with the injuries. Team and the Madrid really want some reinforcement. Team, they need it at centre back area one, and that's something that they would want to do. So, another job. After the pre-match press conference for Enzo Maresca, still, Chelsea for releasing training photos. The last one, at least visibly, because I'll show you like a silhouette. I say Kupama walk Marco Creaci. So at least visibly, Kupama wasn't in the training pictures at Chelsea for the buy, which was a little bit of a worry to the Chelsea fan base, because if you go across almost every social media, Chelsea fans say, hey, I didn't know Kupama me more, they are already matched the crown, ding my Arsenal your boogie side against Chelsea. Or in the last few games, only Chelsea are consistently they get wins. It is only to me and for Kupama Madia, then it means that most likely we are not even going to win the game. And what even messed it up, can I say? Kupama himself went onto his Instagram and posted a picture of all in the recovery and then Nina Leandro Martinez Tiason Eshe sa predator hatch ni one on the year recovery. And that is what Chelsea used to do recovery. The game, it's called game ready. It does a lot of recovery, prepares them. Then Cole Palmer's name is there. Now, according to Palm, many Palm didn't come up. Palm catcher me say, the Chelsea medical team for the last 2 days have been sweating to get Cole Palmer fit. Like, they have pushed every button. They want to get him fit. And the final thing is that Chelsea for who said, after says the second picture, I'm writing a friend Cole Palmer, and I share an anymore. There was another picture, like I did mention. I said, players Nico training. Almost so much boys in the picture, almost Cole Palmer picture, but not Odi Marco Craig in the shadows, so you don't really see him well. And once that was done, the Chelsea people are saying, okay, maybe Cole Palmer is fit, but Enzo Maresca on person will give you too much out to a brand new friend of Mikel Arteta to be able to prepare for the game and have Cole Palmer in his plan. Because as at yesterday, there was also reports that if you look at the Arsenal team, maybe there is going to be Declan Rice who's going to come in and play in that game, possibly for them to be in there and then enjoy some match and then gets the win. Now Chelsea looked at Sir Alisson and then, like I was telling you, Palm say the Chelsea medical team are sweating over Cole Palmer, and they have told Enzo Maresca said there is a 50-50 chance of Cole Palmer playing. Now, what Enzo Maresca himself he said, apparently he had gone to Cole Palmer and he had explained to him that the decision to play him or not will rest on Cole Palmer. If he believes, because yes, the medical test can be run, the manager can decide that I don't want to risk you and what have you. But if he believes that he can play, and in his mind, he playing will not put a lot of pressure on his teammate for them. Like if he can't give 100%, then he should not. Because you don't want to start Cole Palmer and then halfway in the first half you take him off. You don't want to start Cole Palmer, he goes through the game and he's limping. You want to have him fit so that he can play consistently and then he's not going to hurt himself even more and he's not going to affect Obia. And then Enzo Maresca Akache Cole Palmer said he should make the decision. So the decision for that Cole Palmer may or may not play today hinges on Onua Cole Palmer, not Enzo Maresca as a manager, not the medical team, because they have done their best. They've tried to get him ready. In fact, if you look at that picture, it's essentially a picture that they've written by the side, game ready. Essentially getting the player Cole Palmer ready to go and play in that big game that's going to go on against Arsenal later today at the Stamford Bridge. It is a huge game for everybody, not just for Chelsea, also for Arsenal. If you look at the Arsenal perspective, it is not good. And yesterday, after the win at Brighton 4-5 against Manchester City, the job of Carlos Baleba and the fact that Fabian Hazeler pushy the ceiling of Brighton for Arsenal know that they need to get results. They've been losing on a roll. They need to stop it now. And against Chelsea, what a moment is going to be. So many win at Stamford Bridge, which is going to build momentum, which is going to get them to believe again. Said league and call far away from them. Yes, Liverpool are leading it. And then now we catch you. We say if you look at the quality of Ancelotti, anyhow, he seems to be doing things differently. And then now so in a post-match press conference now, Ancelotti said there is a slight difference between only direct way of playing, anyhow Jurgen Klopp someone in direct football, and he is getting results. I like the fact that he's also brutally honest. There are times where Liverpool totally do not dominate. He mentions that they were a little bit lucky at certain parts of the game. They didn't really control the game as much, but they ended up getting the win, which is the most important thing to answer. So Liverpool are leading it. And for Chelsea, Mimi when they say, Chelsea to me 3 points and now top 4. A easy thing for Chelsea. It's going to be in Chelsea's hands. Because if you look at the squad building at Chelsea and the depth in the quality that Chelsea have, they can cater for injuries. They have what it takes to deal with injuries. And the injuries may not be a big deal like that for Chelsea. 2. If you look at the fact that Chelsea have played some very tough games home and away already, and after this international break, it's going to be a fairly level ground going to Aston Villa, going to Leicester City and the subsequent games now. You realize that Chelsea can do well this season if they get this point against Arsenal. For me, I think that in terms of psyche, in terms of psychology, and all of those stuff, it's the single most important 3 points that Chelsea can get. I mean, before next year, before January, it's the single most important thing, and I'm hoping. But the bigger question is that, say Chelsea, any Cole Palmer, international Cole Palmer, say ball, no one don't know too much. On to me more. Who plays? Who plays? Do you want João Felix? Do you want Christopher Nkunku? And as a Chelsea, a flat midfield 3 of Enzo Fernandez, Moises Caicedo, and Romeo Lavia. That's the bigger question. The bigger question, I don't know. Say Chelsea and now born. Cole Palmer say, oh, like he doesn't think that he's fit enough. He cannot play in the game. He's not really there. He doesn't want to go into the game and will not be able to give 100%. Enzo Maresca says, okay, fine, then sit out. Who plays over there? Because there are a lot of theories that I can throw out to you. One, there can be Mihailo Mudryk that will play as a 10. He can play as a 10. In fact, one of the best positions for Mihailo Mudryk is to play as a 10. And consistently, he will be moving. Intimating disrupting Arsenal for out of possession on open. It can disrupt it a lot. Because essentially, so pre-match analysis and that one, man, the 2 videos ago, go back and go and watch that video of Chelsea versus Arsenal, how Chelsea can beat Arsenal and turn a game on its header. Essentially, it is hinged on how Chelsea can disrupt Arsenal's out of possession shape. How do they do that? Say no meeting and disrupt Arsenal out of possession shape. How can they get the result in that regard? It's very, very important. The Chelsea able to me and that. Can they get that job done? That's the bigger question as it stands now. And Mihailo Mudryk may give semblance of that if truly he's able to play in the number 10 position. Again, obviously, the obvious replacement here at is João Felix. He's a natural half space player. Same for Christopher Nkunku. Very, very good half space player for Christopher Nkunku. They can do that job in the half space. Or do you want a midfield flat trial, a holding game where Chelsea controls possession with Enzo Fernandez deep line controlling the game? Romeo Lavia, or you have Romeo Lavia rather deep line controlling the game. Enzo box to box on the left hand side. You play Marco Creus on the left hand side. Regimes on the other side. Having total dominance of the game, controlling the game, and making sure that they exert themselves in terms of winning duels, being aggressive, covering grounds on Fiifi-Manfred. Do you want it that way? Because that becomes the bigger question. How does Enzo Maresca approach this game? And for me, I would rather take Enzo Fernandez, Romeo Lavia, and the Moises Caicedo in the midfield 3. Because one, it gives me the thoughts that Chelsea can be defensively great. Now, if you are playing against Arsenal, one of the things that's important is that you should know that Arsenal will not just be there. They will be defensively very resolute. You have to be resolute as well. And being defensively resolute, I would rather want Enzo Fernandez rather than João Felix, who really isn't the defensive player that you want from him. Yes, it may affect the game in terms of creativity a little bit, but you have to be more tactical. That's more tactful in your build-up, how to pull people out of their press, how to draw people in. I think that Marco Creus is going to be very, very essential in this game. So, Bobia, very, very essential. And that's something that we are waiting to do. Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. We'll draw the curtains here on today's edition of Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Of course, someone subscribe to the channel now. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notification, turn and do choose all. And then after Arsenal game, we'll bring you a post-match analysis, and the Chelsea game, big post-match analysis, and then we'll run up all the things that went on in the world of sports. And then, of course, tomorrow morning we'll come back to pray that the good Lord protects you, protects me, protects all of us, and guides us, takes us out of the hands of the Father. Until then, we'll take care and make sure that you stay with us. Bye-bye.